Hello everyone, today I am here to do another Netgalley arc review. So I did one of these last month where I put all of the Netgalley arcs I've read recently and talked about them all in one video. Again, if you don't know what Netgalley is, it's a site where you can be a reviewer, librarian, I think even educator, and you can request books that are coming out soon and the publisher can either approve or deny you. Rest assured, I get denied quite a lot. But I also get approved for some things, and with that I'm trying to step up and be better about reviewing them and making sure I review them on time and things like that. So that is what we're here today to do. And also I should note that I think it's even more that I'm doing this now because of COVID. Obviously a lot of publishers are not sending out physical copies because of safety and things, which is 1000% understandable. So they're much more rather to give you a Netgalley widget, which is why your girl's got a ton. I even get just emails being like, hey, you're interested in this book? Here's a Netgalley widget. Most of the time I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. Download. So we're going to talk about 6 or 7 books today, so let's get right onto it. The first book is already out. It came out in April. I apologize for that, so I'm going to make it short and sweet. And that is Not That Kind of Guy by Angie Christopher. This is the companion novel to her first book that came out last year called Not the Girl You Marry, and I gave it a 2 out of 5. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not surprised because I didn't love her first book, Not the Girl You Marry. I don't think I really resonate with her writing style. I don't like her characters a ton. This one is the same thing. We have characters named Bridget and Matt, and they are both lawyers, and Bridget is very, I don't want to say hoity-toity, but she's very, she's very serious and sophisticated, and she doesn't want to be in a relationship. She thinks they're, not for her and things like that. And then she meets Matt, and she decides to fake date him because her brother's getting married. She's in the wedding, and her ex-boyfriend's in the wedding party, and so she decides, I'm going to fake date this guy named Matt to try to show him up, and of course things escalate from there. It's just, I found myself really skimming this book a lot, which I don't try to do, but I just was not super interested in it, and I don't really like it. That's all I'm going to say about it because I don't want to get too much into it and I don't want to spoil anybody that has liked it. That's just my personal feelings. Moving on to another book that is not coming out, not even close yet, and that is You Lucky Dog by Julie London. This book comes out on August 25th, and I really love this book. The cover is just as adorable as what's inside. I mean, the cover has 2 basset hounds. Any book that has dogs on the cover I love, and I get mad, honestly, if there's no dogs in the book, if you have them on the cover. Why have a dog on the cover if you're not going to put them in the book? I can even say that for Not the Girl You Marry by Angie Christopher, because there was a dog on the cover of that, and the dog was introduced the last page. Why? Anyway, so this one comes out, like I said, August 25th, and in this book we follow Max and Carly, and basically how they meet is they both have basset hounds, and they both come home and realize that their basset hound is not there. It's been replaced with another one because they both get dog walkers, and basically their basset hounds just get mixed up. So obviously they have to meet up and be like, you have my dog and I have your dog, and things like that. And they become friends and it develops into more. And I really enjoyed this for a multitude of reasons. It's a book that's slow. It does have, I wouldn't say it's fully romance. I'd say it's romance / family. The romance definitely is the kind of back burner. It's more about Max dealing with his family, as well as Carly dealing with her family because she's trying to find a job. She's trying to go to New York. She doesn't want to be in Texas forever. And her mom is like just going, like her and her dad just got divorced, and her mom's just wanting to live the single life and do everything. Max is also dealing with a lot because he has an autistic brother that, is older and he's nonverbal, and he's trying to help his dad as much as he can with him. He's also a professor, and he even went into his line of work because of his brother, trying to figure out the brain and why it does certain things. And I really love that aspect of this book, how it was a large chunk of Max just trying to help his brother and show him that he loves him, and he's autistic and things like that. And that really hit home to me because a lot of you guys know my son is autistic, and it's hard, and I really felt a lot of the situations that happened to Max with his brother has happened to me, and it's really hard when you're that close to being with someone with autism. It's to your core, really, honestly. But it was just a beautiful book. The romance was cute. They definitely talked about their basset hounds, which I want both of them right now. It was like Gus and Hazel, I think their names were, and they were like boyfriend and girlfriend. It was adorable. I would highly recommend it. It's a cute book, a great beach read, loved it. Next up we have Breathe in the Sky by Michelle Haysom. This one comes out August 18th. This is one that I was sent an email. I had never heard about it. It sounded appealing, so I read it and I liked it. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was okay. These are about characters named Marie and Jack. Marie is a biologist and she basically, this is gonna be so hard to explain. She goes to like different sites where they're building like lines of power, I don't know, and making sure that wildlife is safe by the construction workers and things like that. Jack is a foreman for one of those things. They are working in the Mojave Desert. I am so sorry. And basically they meet up and Jack is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of hard to get to know. He's brass and things like that. And Marie is very much more quiet because she just got out of an abusive marriage and she's really trying to flee that and be, you know, strong and independent by herself. And of course the romance happens, and that's all that book really is. I love the aspect of where she talked about her abusive past and Jack really helped her with that and even gave her a book about, you know, surviving it and doing the right thing and, you know, learning how to move, like not move on from it, but try to learn about it. So that aspect I really enjoyed. But other than that, I didn't love this book a ton. It was just a middle of the road book for me, honestly, which is totally okay. Next up, we have Tools of Engagement by Tessa Bailey. This one comes out September 22nd. I never read books this early in advance, but when I saw this on Netgalley, I requested it and I didn't get like approved for it for like a month, I think. And then when I got it, I was very excited, so I had to read it right away. If you don't know, this is the third and last book, maybe, I'm not sure, in her Fix It Up series. I've read the first two, Fix Her Up, and then Love Her or Lose Her, and this one is obviously the conclusion to that. And this one we follow Bethany and Wes. Bethany is the sister to Georgie, who was the main star of Fix Her Up, and I gave this one a 3 out of 5. I liked it. I didn't love it. I was very much anticipating it because the first couple books, maybe only the second one, Bethany and Wes met and they definitely had a banter and a chemistry, and you saw that and you wanted to elaborate more upon it. And I thought that was going to be great, but I love Tessa Bailey books, but her romance, she goes into them very, very quickly. It just really wraps up too quickly and just escalates, but that's just me. I think Fix Her Up is still my favorite book in this series, and I've given them all 3 out of 5. I'm just going to be fully transparent with you there. I do like them. They're definitely steamy, be rest assured on that. So if you're looking for a romance with a steam on the side, there you go. But I just didn't love this as much as I wanted to. I wanted more banter, and I don't know, but definitely got more progress with Bethany, I think. And I did, like I said, enjoy it. I read a lot of Tessa Bailey. They're just fun romance reads that have a lot of steam on the side. So would I recommend this one? Probably. If you like a ton of romance, and especially if you already read the first 2 books in the series, why not read the last one? But I'm sorry to say you're gonna have to wait quite a while. Next up is a thriller book, and that is Someone's Listening by Serafina Nova Glass. This one comes out on July 28th, and I gave it a 2 out of 5. I don't like saying that. Whenever I say 2 out of 5, I get sad because I don't want to write books that. This one is about a character named Faith Finley whose husband goes missing. And he grew up in an abusive home, and she really has made herself into something. And she like has a podcast. No, she didn't have a podcast. She has a radio show where people will call in and ask her about, you know, how to get out of their abusive relationships and things like that. She has a book, and basically her husband goes missing, and they kind of put her at the forefront of he's missing, and they kind of just assume that he's left her, but she knows that something has happened because they were in a really good relationship and things were going great. And the whole book is her trying to find her husband and figure out if he really left of his own accord, if somebody took him, or things like that. And this book, I'm going to say the B word again, was boring. I think it would have been so much more appealing to me if they would have brought the radio show aspect into it. So, because as soon as her husband goes missing, she stops like her radio show and her book and things like that. She just kind of has to be. But I would have loved to see a thrilling aspect with her being on the radio show and somebody calling in and you don't know who that is and you get to start piecing together. That would have been really interesting. But We didn't have that. Also, she is an alcoholic and she also has a dependency on pills. And we see that so many times with thriller books. We have an unreliable narrator where self-coping with pills and alcohol. And so when they say something, you don't know if it's true or not because they don't even know because they're self-medicating. So I didn't really enjoy it. I think it could have been great if they would have went the radio show route, but that's just me personally. So 2 out of 5. Next up, we have 80 Days Elsewhere by Casey Dyer. This one comes out August 11th, and I really enjoyed this one. I gave it a 4 out of 5. This is about a girl named Ramona who lives in Queens, New York, and she works at her uncle's secondhand bookstore, and she loves it. She loves books. She loves working there. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes in with his nephew, and he's like, oh, we won this whole building in a poker game, so I'm your new landlord, and I'm gonna raise up your rent a ton, and if you don't get it to me, like in so-and-so months, you're out of here. So Ramona obviously is distraught because this is where she grew up. Her uncle's own this place. She loves it. And she doesn't know what to do. Not only does she work there, she also lives above the bookstore. And so randomly one day on the way home, she sees this flyer for this company called Ex Libris where it's offering a job for so-and-so. So she goes, figures it out. And it's a job, it's a company that recreates literary journeys. So say I wanted to go and be like, I love Outlander. Make me an Outlander, and then would actually give me an itinerary and book everything and take me to where Outlander was, Lord of the Rings, perhaps, any other literary book, like Call of the Wild, maybe not Call of the Wild, you know what I'm saying, like books that even, literary books, they make journeys off of that. And the latest project they want to do is a client wants to recreate the journey of Phineas and Fogg's around the world in 80 days. So she has an itinerary of where she's supposed to go, but it's up to her to figure out how to get there. And the whole catch is that she has to leave New York and come back and travel around the world in 80 days and come back in New York, and it has to be on that deadline. And she also cannot take any sort of aircraft because it wasn't there back in the day, so she has to find like boats or cars or trains, any other mode of transportation other than a plane. Not only that, but she's on the journey and she realizes that the guy, her new landlord's evil nephew, is also on this journey with her, and it's a competition. So whoever gets back to New York first within these 80 days will get the job with Ex Libris. I probably made that more complicated than it needed to be. Basically, it's a book about travel, and I really enjoyed it. Romance is in this book, but it's definitely on the back burner. It really follows Ramona and her journey. Like, she went gondoling in the Swiss Alps. She went to Hong Kong. She went to other places, and it was just amazing. She also had to get her privilege in check because there were several times where she recognized it and that she needed to work on it, and the guy that she was with also told her about it. So I really enjoyed it a ton. I would say if you're big into traveling, which I'm really not, but I like reading about traveling, I liked it. It was cute, it was fun, and I really could picture everywhere she went, and it was just a fun one. That's all I have to say about it. So I liked it. And the last book I'm going to talk about today is Paris is Always a Good Idea by Jen McKinley. This one comes out July 21st, and this is about a girl named Chelsea. And the book starts off with her dad telling her that he's going to remarry again, and Chelsea is very much against this because her mother passed away 7 years ago to cancer, and she's still living in that grief a lot, and she can't see how her dad's moving on, and she can't support it. So I will say at the beginning of this book, she's very much hard to like because she's so anti-happiness, but if you're not a person that hasn't been through a really tremendous amount of grief, I don't think you could cope with her or understand her. But the whole book is about her dad telling her that he's going to remarry and she's against it. And then her dad and her sister are like, you've been unhappy since mom has died. You haven't done anything. You haven't let you be yourself, live your life. And so she agrees, and she decides that she's gonna take or retake this trip that she went on 7 years before, like right before her mother passed away. She took a gap year after college, and she went to like Ireland, Italy, and Paris, I believe, and she fell in love 3 times with 3 different guys in that year. And so she decides, I'm gonna go back, visit these guys, and see if I can fall in love again, because I fell in love 3 times. I want to be happy again. And so that's what she does. Little does she know that things get complicated with the guy she works with, and goes from there. Again, this book has a lot of travel. Romance is obviously the forefront because she's going to freaking 3 different countries because of love. But I really liked it. It really talks a lot about grief and Chelsea learning how to be happy again and how to love and how to honor her mom. And I thought it was going to be really hard to read because I don't like reading books about cancer. I don't. They hit really close to home for me. But this one, it was important for sure. It talked about grief, but it also was very beautiful. The love, the romance, it was hate to love. I was there for it. I really liked it, honestly. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. There you have it. Those are all the Netgalley books I have to talk to you about today. There's a lot of them. Am I caught up on my Netgalley queue? No, I still have 10 more to go. Every time I say, I have 10 more to go, then I read 7 more, then 10 more happens. I can't stop. Help me, somebody. I would love to know if any of these catch your eye, if you're going to check out any of them. I would love to hear which ones you sound interested in and if I swayed you to read them when they do eventually come out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.